He's like sniping off like the characters when they running around the Soul Palace. I thought that was
But by the end of it, we were in stitches. We were laughing so hard. I've never had that much fun in a voiceover session in my life, and I would do that again in a heartbeat.
What do you find most rewarding and challenging about being a voice actor?
Look at me talking shit now. At the time, I was pretty untouchable.
Hey, we can't confirm or deny, so we'll just say these claims are true.
Yeah. They're bad then, so no one can confirm or deny it. You know, this is the age where we're just gonna say anything.
That one, you want to be sad? You want to be sad? Watch that.
Oh no, it's like that. I'd be like 1 star for Raysean and 1 star for Hayden.
That's fair.
Well, my next question I want to ask: do you got any advice for anybody that wants to get into voice acting? Yo, what's good? It's your boy, Raysean from the Raysean Gadson Anime Podcast, or RGAP for short. And on today's episode, we got a special one for you guys. We got special guest Evan Michael Lee, a professional voice actor who is known for Bleach 1000-Year Blood War, Transformers One, and Street Fighter 6. Join us as we dive into the world of voice acting, exploring Evan's personal journey and achievements, uncovering his anime origin story, and discussing our favorite actors. We'll also be sharing tips for anyone out there trying to get into voice acting. Before I forget, we also have a co-host on today's episode. But before I introduce them, if this sounds interesting to you, then sit back and enjoy the ride. And don't forget to like and subscribe wherever you're listening.
Enough of this nonsense. We know you. We have data on every battle each one of you has ever fought. We know all about your Zanpakuto. So if I can differentiate between the real you and the illusion, you die.
You're friendlier than you look. A bit like me. I think we might get along. I wanted to talk to you about what's in store for us in the future. I'm not here for any particular reason. I just happened to hear a rumor about you.
Little? There's nothing little about you.
Took me 3 days to pry you open. Your feelings get you in trouble.
Yeah.
Just trust in Sentinel Prime.
I do trust in him.
It's closing! Just grab your pack and go!
Yeah, good idea.
Before we get started, I just want to allow my guest the opportunity to introduce themselves, basically tell everybody where you're from, what you do, and also tell us your top 2 favorite actors or voice actors and why.
Gotcha. Hey guys, I'm Evan Michael Lee. I am a voice actor. I made prominence as Nagoriyuki in Guilty Gear Strive, Lille Barro in Bleach 1000-Year Blood War, Hades in Fortnite, and just recently Jazz in Transformers One. It should come as no surprise if you follow me on Twitter or most of my social medias. One of my all-time favorite actors, God rest his soul, James Earl Jones.
Okay.
One of my favorite voice actors. There are many to choose from, but I guess off the top of my head, one of my favorites would be Elias Tufexis. And one of the recent things I've been watching, and I hope you guys have been watching it too. If not, you are doing yourself a disservice. The Penguin.
I haven't been.
Oh yeah, the Penguin. I forgot that show existed.
What?
I need to check that out. I do need to check that out.
You may need to block him.
Probably. I got some bad opinions over here. Just wait.
Man, oh man.
And
but all right.
The other night, so just to wrap that up, also, I just finished season 2 of Castlevania Nocturne. No.
Oh, okay. That's been pretty good. That's
Yeah.
Before I tell you guys my favorite top 2 actors, and we have a co-host on today's episode, but everybody to tell everybody where you're from and then tell them your top 2 favorite actors.
How's it going, everybody? I'm Hayden. I'm I don't know what I am anymore. I'm a podcaster wannabe. My 2 favorite actors, I'm going to start off with one I grew up with childhood is Adam Sandler, very basic. But I've always grown up watching Adam Sandler movies with my dad. I've always loved the comedies growing up, like 50 First Dates is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's stupid, but I love it. And then as it's gotten on, as time has gotten older, well, as I've gotten older and time's gone on, he started doing more serious roles here and there. I think it was, what was it, Spaceman, I think is what it was, where with him and the spider on the ship. I really like that one. That's a really good movie. And the other one
where he was a pimp. That was pretty interesting on Netflix.
And he was also the Zohan for a minute. Don't forget about that one.
No, I like Adam Sandler. He's pretty good.
And then the other one is Laura Bailey, because one of my first ever anime growing up, I fully watched, besides like Dragon Ball, was Soul Eater. And I really loved like watching that. I like Maka Allbarn's voice. It was just really cool to hear it. Like that was the first time I was like, wow, this is so cool. I don't know, this is anime. Wow. Because I was a child at the time. And as time's gone on, I'm seeing more of her stuff. Like she's in Final Fantasy games that I love. That's some of my favorite gaming franchises. And it's just fun hearing her age up. Like here's her as like a child to now, I think she's like early 40s. So it's like, that's so surreal. It's like, wow, you're old, but awesome.
I feel you on that. I want to also say, Adam Sandler, I always find myself watching some of his movies because they are, to me, timeless. They're stupid funny, but they're funny. You know what I mean? I mean, his comedy is not for everybody. I understand people that are like, I don't see it, but to me, they're really good. I think the first Grown Ups is unbeatable, a classic movie. The second one, it's there. It's not bad. It's just not as good as the first one, but I think he's pretty good.
Mhm.
For my favorite two actors, for my first one, I chose Samuel Jackson. I think when I think of acting and just a character, a person that just defies his characters and just his momentum and the way he acts and his voice, I just have to give it to Samuel Jackson. And for my next one, I have to give it to Robin Williams. I think this man literally became every character that he acted as and literally showed us that you can be sad inside and still try to make the people around you happy. And I think that he really cemented the values of what a comedian is. And I think his best role as the genie in Aladdin, like I think it took me a while to realize how good that role was. And I will say it probably took after his death and to after you rewatch it and realize he was coming up with a lot of this off the fly. Like there's not a lot of people who can redo that. And then when you see like Will Smith try to play it and you're like, that's just not the same. It's not giving the same energy. But I feel like no one really could give that same energy as Robin Williams. And I also will say, I guess you can also say these two people are voice actors too, because they've done pretty much work in both fields with Samuel L. Jackson basically in the Samurai Black
Afro Samurai.
Afro Samurai, and then you got Robin Williams and Aladdin. Thanks, man.
I got you.
What you think about them?
I mean, I think when you look back on it, Robin Williams definitely was in a class of his own when it comes to putting, a celebrity in a voiceover role. Like, I think he just really set the bar to a whole new standard that probably hasn't really been matched since.
No, I don't think
and that's not saying I'm not one of those people who is necessarily against a celebrity in a voiceover role, but I will say it's hard to meet that standard when Robin Williams again was just like you said, like he was making that stuff up on the fly, and I'm sure the animators were just, well, we got to create this. Like, yeah, like this is gold, and we can't let this go by.
I read something a while back actually referring to that, was they had recorded his lines and it said, go and just have free with it. Here's the lines, do whatever. And they did do the animation after the fact. And with him kind of, I don't know if it's true or not. It's the internet, so no telling. But like when he's sitting there doing all his stuff and he's like, let me just do this. He's making all his impersonations and stuff. Yeah. And they animated it after the fact. And it's like, oh, that's so Robin Williams. That's so cool.
I mean, at this point, I would sit down for 9 hours and just listen to all of the raw audio footage that they have of him just riffing, the stuff that didn't make the movie. Like, I just want to hear everything he ever did.
I think that would be amazing because, he probably said some stuff that was probably like, oh, can we put this in the movie? Like, you know what I mean?
Like, yeah. I don't know if we can use that one.
But before we kind of get into the interview and everything, I just kind of want to go into our next topic, basically kind of discussing what we've been recently watching or playing or listening to recently. So I'm going to go ahead and give you the floor, Evan. What you've been watching recently?
Well, like I said earlier.
Are playing.
Well, yeah. We finished The Penguin, I guess, like a month or so ago, and just phenomenal. Was not expecting that.
I know what you're talking about. When you first said that, I thought you was talking about an anime. You're talking about the Batman thing, right?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen a few episodes of that, yes.
He's got to be blocked too. It's got to be blocked too.
No, I was like, I've never even heard of that. Like, when he first said that, but then I was like, hold up, I know what he's talking about.
And then obviously, it should come as no surprise. If you haven't watched this show, I don't know what you're doing with your life. Shogun.
Okay, yep.
I mean, come on. That was just a masterpiece. And like I said earlier, Just finished Castlevania season 2 Nocturne. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. I'm trying to let me see, what movies have I seen recently? Trying to think. I feel like I watch things on like Netflix and then or HBO Max, and then I forget. I'm like, oh yeah, I did see that movie until it comes up in conversation. So I can't remember what I've been seeing lately, but usually things I fall asleep to, and then we'll have to finish the next day. It's not a movie at all, but I'm also like an episode or two behind on Monday Night Raw. If anyone's
okay. Have you been watching it since it went over to Netflix?
I did see the Netflix premiere, and then I've missed the last two, but I'm gonna watch them this weekend and then try to keep up with them. But the production quality,
you feel like it's a different show?
I mean, they got that Netflix money. They got that Netflix money.
I'm definitely going to have to go back and kind of check it out. See, I was more into WWE when, Undertaker was still a main member of the current cast, the active cast. So with him kind of being, when his streak got taken away and stuff like that, that hurt me really. That really hurt me. When they told me his streak was gone, because that was always my argument to why he was the best. Because I'm like, I don't care what you say, how many championships he got. No, fuck that. Is he undefeated? But then when he lost it to Brock, I understood, because I mean, if they really fought, I'm putting my money on Brock. But it just was dang, really? Out of every person, I just felt like I didn't feel like that was the person that needed to take his.
But imagine also after that match, because they had another match afterward. There was another match on the card. So imagine having to go after that moment. You're like,
yeah.
You're like, yo, you just took the wind out of everyone's sail.
Because to me, I always felt like that was a big part of WrestleMania, the whole who was the Undertaker gonna fight type of thing. So when you get rid of that, it's now we got to make a whole nother draw to get people to really want to watch it. So to me personally, I haven't seen it yet, because I for the last few years, it seemed like they were kind of just bringing kind of big celebrities back, like The Rock or somebody like that. So I wasn't that hip to get back to it, but I do want to kind of see what they've been doing on Netflix and stuff like that.
Yeah, you should check it out. You should check it out. The first episode, there were a lot of corporate shout outs, so you have to kind of thunder past that, obviously.
Yeah, I heard Hulk Hogan got a nice little surprise, so I thought that was interesting. I was like, well, sometimes you got to check and see how people feel about you. You might need to search your name up, see what's trending. You know what I mean?
Putting it one way, that's putting it one way. I mean, he had to have read the room, right?
Yeah, I would think. And then people saying, oh, it's because he's a Trump supporter. I'm like, people jumped up when Undertaker came out. And he definitely showed us he was a Trump supporter.
I was like, I think people turned up when the Undertaker pulled up on that bike.
So I was like, I don't know. But what about you, Hayden? What you been watching or playing or doing recently?
I've actually been recently starting to get back into anime. It's been a bit of a lull period since I have. I've actually been watching, I've seen 2 movies. Metropolis, it's a 2001 anime movie. Fantastic movie. I loved it. I had fever dreams of it, and I finally started watching it. Another one is Children Who Hear Lost Voices. I don't know if I've heard of either one of those. And then Summer Wars. It's another one of those one-off things that's anime movies that's actually really cool. TV shows I've watched, I've only seen 3 in the past months. I don't watch a lot of TV. I have a different hobby as a side thing, and I've been catching up on From, the HBO series. That one's actually really cool and a very suspenseful thriller.
Yes.
Secret Level on Amazon. That's actually really cool.
Oh yeah.
And my dad and I have been watching The Walking Dead, starting over the original Walking Dead series.
Okay, that's pretty good.
And then if I go games, let's just keep it short and sweet. Otherwise, we'll be here for 4 hours. I'm playing Resident Evil 3 Remake, Ashura's Wrath, and Killzone Shadowfall.
Nice.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
nice game from there.
I guess when it comes to games, I've just started playing Dynasty Warriors because I'm in that one. That's really fun. I just started running back kind of in the same vein. Ghost of Tsushima, and I pretty much play this game every single day. Helldivers 2.
Oh, Helldivers is fun. Are you getting ready? What are your thoughts on Ghost of Yotei?
I love it. Looks beautiful. Looks phenomenal. I mean, I don't listen.
I like video games,
but I think it's going to be a phenomenal game.
I'm excited for it. I'm one of those ones. I don't have the opinion until I play it. If I think the game's bad, even if it's great, I'll tell you it's bad. Elden Ring. I don't know if you've ever played that one. Yeah. I got a hot take. That's an overrated, mediocre game. And
okay, all right.
There you go, Raysean. There's you some fun.
See, I bring Hayden on because he's more of a game player than me. The most recent game I've played is Sparkling Zero for the new Dragon Ball Z game, and that one was pretty fun. I will say I haven't been able to beat it and play it fluidly because I haven't been able to buy a system yet because I just haven't felt a reason to buy one yet. I mean, when I bought my last system, the new GTA had came out. So I don't know if that's what I'm waiting for or what's going on, but I'm just waiting for a moment to happen for me to go get it because I haven't. So I thought Sparking Zero was going to do it for me, but after I played it about a few times, I feel like I got the gist of, of the game. So I didn't.
Did the Beast Vegeta give you hardship just like everybody else?
Oh, and it gave me a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm one of those people. If I can't beat it 3 or 4 times, I'll put it down, and I'll try to figure out if there's another way to go past it. Like I like those certain games where like you try it 3 times and it's like you just want to skip this, like go to the next thing.
That's the thing. Like, so I haven't played the game at all, but like you open up Twitter or whatever, and you just see all the discourse of people just like ready to raid quit left and right. And I'm just like, yo, like. Is it that bad? Like, is he that hard?
It was bad. It was on TikTok, like I think a 2.5-minute video that was, I will restart this fight if every time Vegeta like does a super attack in the first 5 seconds of it. 2.5 minutes it was going before in the first 5 seconds. This is not a joke. If I I'll go find it if need be. But it was literally just hey, start in, boom, start in, one, boom, and it was just hilarious. It was like, oh my god, what the hell is this? Even this man breathes ultimate supers.
Yeah. That's the thing that raises blood pressures.
Man. And then you're just saying like, well, is it something I'm doing? Like, what's going on? I done played all the rest of these levels. It wasn't that hard. Now to get here, now I'm going against the boss. Like,
and you start questioning yourself. Like, wait a minute, I know I'm not that bad. Like, am I that bad?
It only hurt you until you found out one of your friends beat it. Like that was easy.
Yeah.
Like, come beat them on my system.
Now,
like,
are there any other fighting games anybody else is playing?
Fighting games. I've been playing a lot of Mortal Kombat, but I don't know if it's a newer version of it. It's just the last one.
The Mortal Kombat 1?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've been. I wanted to get back into that because I saw that the new DLC pack just dropped with like Conan and Ghostface and that whole thing. So yeah, I'm like, I need to get back into it.
Yeah, I usually play a lot of fighting games when I have a lot of friends and stuff come over because I only like playing games where I feel like everybody can kind of get a turn. It's kind of quick like that. Hey, when people play games, you'd be like, who do we get to switch the controllers or I'm just watching you play because I don't even understand what's going on.
But would either one of you invest in like an arcade machine for your house?
An arcade machine? I would do like a Pac-Man machine, I think, or like a card game.
Over, right?
Huh?
That's like the perfect excuse to have people over. If you have like an arcade machine and it has like 1,000 games in it, then
I mean that would be totally dope. I mean I've seen so many different versions of those. I've seen some people have the big, huge arcade things, and I've seen people have like the little small, personable ones. So I'm like, it really just depends on like how big it is. You know what I mean?
Look at me trying to spend your money.
I mean, personally, I'm probably not going to do it, but I'll most likely go get a Wii machine and be like, that's our arcade machine. You know what I mean? You put a different many games in there you need.
Speak of the Wii, hold on, just let me grab mine because I'm always ready.
Oh, okay.
Wait, no dust.
See, I got the red edition when they brought out that new Mario.
My red one's over there.
Oh, he ain't playing.
I have a small problem that I'm going to see because I love my desk. I built a desk about this time last year. That's an arch that has, in order, PlayStation 3, 360, Wii, PS2, Switch, Xbox One, GameCube, and PS5.
Now, I know they said in like the Zoom world during the pandemic, you're not supposed to comment on people's backgrounds, but I would be remiss if I didn't comment over your shoulder. Are those all video games back there?
Yeah. Hold on. Excuse the mess in my house.
Oh my, no. I've been eyeing it for like the last 10 minutes. I was like,
it's messy. There's about
I would never leave that room.
I finally, about a month ago, hit 650 behind me.
Oh yeah, he's not playing. Last time we had a conversation, I was like, you basically a GameStop yourself. Like he literally might as well open up a store. Like
I got a lot of fun ones. I got a high dollar. I got one that's right there. It's Kudelka. It's a rare PS1 that I got for $300. I got this shelf right here.
Yeah,
not the top one. That's just PlayStation 1. This is the like games like $150 plus right there. Like all the Silent Hills, Rule of Rose, Dino Crisis, other stuff. Yeah.
All right, don't be telling people where you live.
Oh, please. They're well.
Yeah.
No.
Well, you see that big sword he got over there?
Yeah.
Like he ready for some guests. Got a nice little Zanpakuto toe right there. I see it.
My actual Bleach sword is sitting downstairs. It says Ichigo's little like secondary one. I can't remember what it's called, but whenever it has the two swords, I actually got a years back. I got a metal version of that. I got a wall of swords downstairs.
Okay, I was gonna say, did you buy it or like someone? Did you make it?
No, I'm not that special. I'm not that cool. I have a sword. It's about the size of this that I made out of a peanut harvester blade.
Okay.
I cut off the edge of it and welded it to a metal rod with a lawnmower blade as the hilts and a big donut that's about that thick and this big around. I split firewood with it.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
You look like you're ready.
Yeah.
The
I'm ready.
grid turned off. You ready, man?
No, I can't do that. I can't live without these.
That's fair.
Well, let me go ahead and talk about what I've been watching recently, real quick, and then we're gonna go right into the interview. I've just finished up watching the new season of Bleach. 1,000 Year Blood War arc. I have to say it was amazing. You did pretty great. I loved the fight between you and Captain Kyōraku. I think that is amazing. It's also another scene that I think is amazing with your character is when he's like sniping off like the characters when they running around the Soul Palace. I thought that was an amazing scene because I was like, oh, they can't even mess with him. Like that's so messed up right there. But it's just to be really showing how evil they were, basically showing how they were willing to really wipe these Soul Reapers out. So I thought that was amazing.
Yeah. Like, when I first started on the show, I just had like the intro for like the kind of last, only in there for a little bit. But like when my part was over, the director was like, "Oh yeah, like you'll be back next season, and you're gonna hurt some people's feelings." I was like, "Oh, okay."
Some nice moments.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh dear." I was like, because I don't know who all of those voice actors are, but I'm sure they're probably wondering, am I coming back? I'm like,
a lot of them not, but some of them maybe. So some of them maybe.
Yeah.
I will have to say, I think you did really well because
thank you.
These new seasons of Bleach, them coming back and basically reanimating the whole that last section of the manga has been great because I feel like it's brought Bleach back out of its out of like where I feel like people weren't talking about Bleach the way they should. Like it was a top 3 anime, but a lot of people never really gave it its props. But right now I feel like you have to put it up there as one of the top 3s because it's coming back with some amazing animation. The storyline has been brilliant. And I liked a lot of the changes they've made from what was in the manga to what they're doing on animation style. See, I don't know if you actually read the manga or know what's actually going on, or if you actually know a lot about Bleach or anything.
I never read the manga, no.
Oh, okay. Were you a fan of Bleach before?
I watched a little bit of it like growing up, and I never really watched it consistently. And then before moving to LA, I moved. I was living in Chicago. And speaking of, what was it, the Switch? No, not the Switch. It was like the Wii. A friend of mine had a Bleach game. I think was on.
Oh, okay.
He was like my neighbor, so like we would sometimes play that. So like I was kind of a little bit familiar with the characters, but like not really in depth till like I got on the show, and then I was like, well, let me like go back and do like a quick, because like from the time I got the character till the time I started recording was about 3.5 hours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So within the same day, you had to be recording.
Pretty much, yeah.
He's like, so let me go ahead and search him up real quick. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Well, at least he's a black character. That's, to me, I think that's interesting. The fact that he's the top rank of the whole royal members and everything. He was the first person to get powers and everything. And to me, technically, I would say he has the strongest ability, but I can see how certain other abilities might affect his ability to be, because I mean the balance. To me, I always say that that might be able to affect it, but it's just I just think he's an amazing, awesome character, pretty good.
Yeah. No. He's pretty sick. I didn't know anything about him because like it was kind of thrusted upon me, so I had to like kind of do. I don't even know the guy's name. You guys probably know him or probably maybe seen him before. I want to say he's Australian, and he does like a history of like a lot of characters on Bleach. But he has like a YouTube channel.
Is it DBZ Iron Man or something like that?
I forget his name. But if he sees this, shout out to you.
Okay.
But like, from the time I got it, I was like, okay, I got to do like a quick deep dive on this dude. And I found that video and it was like 30 minutes. I said, all right, let me just kind of watch this and kind of
And it probably broke down the whole character for you and everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I kind of know who this guy is, and based on like his history, who he's sort of aligned with, and where he sees like the vision of this particular world. I'm like, all right, we'll go with this route. So, and I guess it worked.
Did pretty good. I'll give you a props for that.
Thank you.
But what else I've been watching? I've been watching Dragon Ball Daima. I haven't caught up on the last 2 episodes, but I've been watching everything else. It's been pretty good. I like seeing Dragon Ball done very beautifully. It made me actually go back and rewatch.
It's on my list of things to watch, so I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
Oh, it's dope. Like, cause I'm a huge Dragon Ball fan. I will say they are doing a little bit of like some retcon or some stuff they want to change, and this person actually did this, and you're like, okay, all right, okay, I guess what you're doing. But I will say, if you ever just wanted to see Dragon Ball done beautifully and not rush, this is the best way to watch it, because I'm a huge fan of Super, but when you go back and do like rewatches of it, you see some things, you know what I mean? Like, okay, I didn't realize it was this bad. I really must have loved Dragon Ball when it had came back, because I did not realize a lot of these scenes. You're like, is that Top or who is that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can't even tell
I
what's
think
going on.
that's definitely one of those shows you got to kind of watch twice.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Like, I would think either I missed something the first time, or I didn't understand something the first time. So like go back and like, wait a minute, who was that? I'm like, I see. Got it.
But I've recently been going back and rewatching the Cell arc, and I've been getting a new appreciation of the Cell arc, because I've just rewatched the fight between Android 17 and Piccolo, and man, I have to say that, to me, hands down, one of Piccolo's best fights. The only time you really got to see him kind of take over the story for a second. And Loki looked like he was about to be victorious and everything until, everything got to mess his moment up, and Cell got to come and everything. But I just like rewatching that.
Little gym membership.
Yeah, and then I got to re-see the scene of Vegeta, coming down, being the hero for a second, and then getting cocky, and then basically losing the mission. And then you're thinking to yourself, like, man, all you had to do was kill him. Like what did you have to?
Right there, you had him right there. But no, can't help himself.
It's the greed, man.
It's the greed. Yeah, no, I often think back to the Cell saga, and it's funny you say that, because I'm like, now I feel like I should go back and rewatch it again, because I mean, it goes without saying, like Gohan.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, one of the quintessential pivotal moments in Dragon Ball, like without question. You know what I mean? It was just like, oh, so like this kid can really just surpass anybody if you just push him a little too far.
And then the thing is, I always argue with people who talk about that moment, and they be like, well, Piccolo was right. I'm like, no, Goku was right. He knew Gohan was stronger. And he just needed to get like to that point. Piccolo was the one that was basically coddling him in that moment. Like, what are you're not knowing what's going on? People are like, I've seen it. Like,
everybody calls Goku a bad dad, but he's actually not that bad.
Not that bad. He said, no, I saw writing on the wall, I saw it, this kid's got something, and everybody always wants to relate to either like, what saying are you, like Vegeta, and everyone's like Vegeta or Goku, whatever, but like, I don't know, like he's not my favorite, like out of the ones, but like, I feel like I'm more like Gohan, like I don't really want to fight anybody,
Yeah, I feel that.
Man, I think
you kind of push to it when you have to.
Yeah, who don't want to fight people, like I wouldn't push them too far, because I don't think they'll come back.
Yeah. And that'd be the ones that you don't really want to mess with. The nice ones that be like, that's always happy, always good morning, and always respectful. When they switch and they give you bad vibes, they'll be the ones you'd be like, yeah, we got to shut the building down. Well, I don't know what he about to do.
I won't go through, but like many, many, many years ago, I had an acting teacher, and they were pretty much like that. And I don't know what happened to the full extent, but the class before me, I guess somebody did something, and this teacher came in and was just like bright red with anger and just let one student out, because I guess they had like went behind their back and like, tried to get them in trouble or whatever. And this is like teacher, like, good morning, like kind of like Ned Flanders, you know what I mean? But like,
yeah, I feel you.
You pushed him too far, and he let that whole class have it. I was like, yeesh. So I'm like, that was the main ones you don't want to push.
Yeah, he'd be like, I let y'all turn and work late and all this, and y'all gonna try to snitch on me? Like, oh, heck, I feel that energy. I low-key shut class down for a few days. They'd be like, he just throwing out Fs. I'd be like, I don't know who snitched, but everybody getting it. This is something.
Riley Freeman, he said no snitching.
Well, we're gonna go ahead and jump into our interview, okay?
Right.
So my first question I want to ask you is basically, what made you want to pursue a career in acting, and what made you fall in love with acting?
First part of the question, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. That's exactly how I fell into acting. I was in college. It was my freshman year. It was like the spring of the freshman year, and I'm just sitting there. I haven't declared a major, and I just feel like I'm wasting my parents' money. I'm like,
I feel that.
I might just like dip out because I'm like, I don't know why I'm here, what I'm gonna do with my life. But then I said, let me go on the website and see what kind of majors they have. And I saw they had a theater department. And when I was in high school, I did like some, kind of silly like student films with like some of my buddies and whatnot. And a few of them they're like, you're a pretty good actor. And I never, ever, ever took it to heart. I was like, oh, cool, thanks, whatever. But then I saw they had this theater department. I said, you know what? They said I was a pretty good actor. Why not I give it a shot? That's really like the motivation. It wasn't like fame or money or anything. I was like, I'll just give it a shot. And
Okay, it just happened to click.
it just happened to click. And then it was kind of the first moment in like my academic career where I kind of, no pun intended, got my act together because it was like, I enjoy school. I want to go to class. I want to learn about this. And then I saw a particular play back in my sophomore year, back in Atlanta, because that's where I'm from. And it was just a two-man play. It's called Top Dog Underdog, just two black men. And that's when I knew I want to do this forever. Just seeing them to like, do this whole thing, I was like, wow, like that's acting right there. I'm like, that's what I want to do. So, and then by my senior year of college, that's when I knew like, yeah, I want to do this forever. So that was it. And then, wait, what was the second part of the question?
And basically, what made you fall in love with voice acting?
Oh, so what made me fall in love with it was, looking back on your life, you see, we all grew up watching G.I. Joe and Ninja Turtles and Transformers and, various other Rugrats and whatnot. So like that's all sort of in like the ecosystem of our lives. But I auditioned for this little cartoon show called Camp WWE that the WWE was putting on, and I never ever had an acting a voiceover class in my life. I didn't have a demo. I didn't have an agent. Never done anything voiceover. I had an acting manager, and I said, "Hey, do you think you'd give me an audition for this? I think I'd be really good because I'm a big wrestling fan." So she ended up giving me the audition, and long story short, I went through several auditions. It was with Seth Green from Robot Chicken and Family Guy. He was the director.
Oh, that's dope. You actually got to meet him?
I ended up getting it. I ended up getting the voice of Mark Henry. So I'm in there and doing my thing. I'm back sweating for days. I'm nervous, you know what I mean? But I'm happy to be there, but I'm nervous. And I, do it and the finish it like, you did great. And I was like, this is my first go time at like voiceover. And they were like, well, like it doesn't read because like, you were great in there. So I went out in the car. And I hadn't even left the parking lot. I'm just sitting there in the car. And I was like, it's only a matter of time before everyone realizes you're a fraud. So some voiceover lessons if you really want to do this, Evan. So all the money I got from that show, I put it into acting voiceover school and just learning and learning and learning. And as time went on, I wasn't really doing much with voiceover after. Sorry, this is a very long-winded answer, but whatever. I wasn't really doing much with voiceover after that show, but me and a friend of mine, we were going to E3. Remember E3? We were going to E3, and I'm seeing all these video games and whatnot, and I'm like, why aren't you in those games, Evan? I'm like, you should be in that. You should be like you should be doing it. And this is all just like in my mind. I'm just like thinking it as I'm watching. I'm like, you should be up there. Like, you should really get back.
Wow, okay, I like that.
So going back into E3 was what really got me back into voiceover. So I'm like, let me lean back into this because I feel like something in life is calling me to go this route. So I'm getting back into voiceover. And then the pandemic hits.
So you were forced to get back into voice.
Make something happen, or it's just going to be something I talk about. So I ended up building, not this booth, but in the last house I was living in, I ended up building a booth, ended up buying this
houses.
I got all the equipment. I got my dream agent. And then 2021, I, booked a commercial. I was like, great. And then I booked my very first video game, which was Lost Ark. And then I booked my very second video game shortly after that, which was Guilty Gear Strive. So it's like my first fighting game. I'm like, oh, wow. And then after that, I booked Spider-Man 2, and I got to be in like motion capture. and then I booked Asgard's Wrath, and then like it just sort of started snowballing, and then like I was pretty much off to the races after that. I was like, okay, well, like I'm here now, so like this is like like this feels
where I
right.
wanted to be.
Yeah. Like once things started happening, like that's when like the love just really, really grew, and I was like, yeah, this is where I should have been. And like even though it took a little time to get there, like it was totally worth it, and I would do it again in a heartbeat.
You had to sit back and be like, am I famous? Hold up.
It was definitely this year that definitely kind of put me on like the VO map. But yeah, after that, it was like, oh wow, I guess I'm not too bad at this.
I feel that.
Not too bad.
I want to say, you playing Mark Henry is kind of funny because that's the only one of the two wrestlers I've ever actually met in person out in just random. Because I was going to my local movie theater, and his mom lives pretty close to me, and I guess he frequently goes there, and he just happened to be there one time, and I just got to take a picture with him and everything. And I say that man is huge, like he is really big for the title to be like the world's strongest man. Yeah, he's pretty big guy.
When he was in the 4th grade, I read this. I think he was 5'7" and 230 pounds.
In the 4th grade?
I think I looked that up. I think he was like 5'7" and like 240 or like 230.
Just like, God.
Just imagine coming into class and you got a defensive lineman in the class.
You got a grown man sitting at the seat. Teacher, he stole my glue.
I'm like, yo,
you need to get that back before he get angry. I can't get him off you. Jeez.
Pretty sure that kid has a mortgage. Like, like I don't think he should be. That's a
I don't
grown
feel
up.
comfortable talking to him because.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God. So like, yeah, the fact that he's like an Olympic champion and like, you know, a huge superstar. I was like, yeah, of course. Like the writing was on the wall that you would be a wrestler.
I like you not being able to figure out what kind of major you want to do and kind of just testing something that you kind of like during your high school years and stuff like that. Because when I was in college, man, I was literally going from major to major. I was literally that person because I kept trying to figure out what I like, what interests me and everything. And I always felt like I'm good at liking things and picturing it in my mind of how it is going to be. And then when I actually learn about it and start stuff like that, and I actually be like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Damn, I'm really gonna have to learn some stuff to do this. And I'm like, and it's not that that's not what I want to do. I just haven't really found what I'm passionate at. And I'm really learning to start to like try new things and being okay with not liking the things that I try. Because it took me I was doing dental assisting for about 1.5 years, and I was doing everything to just like this job, to do this job. And it just took me like within the last few months to just be like, this is not the field for me. Like, this is just not going to do. Huh?
Do you have any crazy dental stories that people like doing weird?
I will say, the main reason I wanted to get into dental versus like any other stuff was my main idea was like, you know, it's not gonna be that much blood. You know what I mean? Man. When I tell you we cut some people gums and the blood just be pouring, squirting, you be like, oh my God. And the amount of people like that I meet who are afraid of the dentist, like I never realized how much of a fear that is for people, to the point where people like, I can't be in the room. I can't, you can't put nothing near my mouth. You can't tell, like, they don't want it. They don't want you to tell them anything extra. This hurts. I don't care what's happening over here. Like, that's the reason that's going to end up being like this side if you don't pay attention to this side. No, this hurts. I want to fix this. So it's like,
I mean, I'm not a psychologist or anything like that, but I think it's like, it's a form of surgery where you have to stay awake. You know, that's where like the fear comes in, because you're seeing all these tools that you don't see every day. You're hearing all these sounds you don't hear all the time. And then they have the nerve to put Netflix in front of you and just be like, relax.
Relax while you just cut out all your teeth.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know, man. Like,
and then sometimes you feel something and they like, oh, you good. Just calm down. Like, you sure?
I had to get a wisdom tooth once, and they sent me to a specialist, and it was like this Russian dentist. I don't even know if it was a dentist's office, but like he puts me in the chair and he's just like very little words, no dialogue is exchanged. Like open, like I open my mouth and he like, you know, puts like the little like numbing stuff on and like gives me like the shot. And then he just like turns to the side, just sits. Like, I mean, we're just like waiting. And he's like, do you feel that? And I was like, a little. He's like, okay. gives me a little bit more, turns, no exchange. And then it's like, do you feel it? I was like, yeah, I think I'm pretty numb. He's like, all right, you want to watch something? I was like, yeah, sure. So I think I ended up watching like the Ninja Turtles movie. He does his thing and just like, okay, you can go.
Yeah, that's how doctors are. Mainly the dental assistant is person you're going to talk to, because I'm the person that really talks to the dentist, because the dentist is usually just a quick tell you what's going on, try to knock out the procedure and go to the next person, because a lot of times they overschedule, so they trying to knock out as many people as they can, which I got my opinions on that, but I don't want to get too much into it. I don't
10 words total. But he gave me a new tooth, so
that's pretty good. At least that's good, because I hear some stories where people, I'll be like, I can't imagine that even being a dentist visit. Like, and he came in, he didn't even numb me. He just pulled my tooth out, told me to get out. I'm like, really? You didn't call the police? That's bullcrap right there.
Big dude, that's hilarious. Big dude comes in.
Yeah.
Hello, friend. I shall pull out tooth today. Are you ready? All right. Goodbye. Have a good day. Candy out front.
There's some ice in the front. Like,
I don't know.
what?
That's kind of what it felt like. Just like, all right, you can go. It's like, can I? Like,
what happened?
Yeah, like you don't want me to sign anything, right? Just it's all.
I don't even want no one to know you were here.
Have a good day.
Yeah. I'm like, was that even a dentist's office?
Just the billboard falls down. It's a fake thing.
Yeah.
That's one thing I will say too. I've noticed a lot of dentists are like foreign. You don't really see a lot of well, that's doctors, period. You don't really see a lot of American doctors anymore for real. So that's pretty interesting. But it's to the point now where I'm like, I low key kind of want to see a foreign doctor. American doctors, no, I don't even feel comfortable no more with them. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I need to see some diplomas on the wall. Yeah.
I need to know you went to other countries and done this. You know what I mean? Because to me, they ain't more experienced, because they did it with less, without half this technology. They still trying to figure out what this stuff do.
That is a good point. They have less and they have to do the same thing we do. That's a really good point.
But for
I'll talk about the dentist for a little while.
We need to talk about it. It's important. Your teeth are important, people. Take care of them.
Oh yes, my God. No, teeth are important. If you get like a toothache or a tooth infection, please, it ruins your whole life.
You can die. Like, people don't even realize, like, that can creep into your blood system and kill you. It's crazy to think that, but people actually get to that point to where they get septic and have to go to the hospital and try to fight the infection. So if you got some type of tooth pain, you might have to bite the bullet. I mean, and do it. I'm personally not the type of person that needs to be put to sleep. I hate the idea of it. I don't even like when they tell me like I need surgery and I might have to be put to sleep, because I just don't like that medicine. Because but if you have to be put to sleep, to do it, because it's crazy. I have wisdom teeth I need to get out myself, but they haven't hurted me. So it's like, I'm not gonna worry about it, but I probably should, since I actually at that point where I have insurance to do it. Because usually before that was my thing, I didn't have the insurance, but now I have the insurance to do it.
Yeah, that's free money. You might as well go.
I might as well, but I know what the procedure look like. You know what I mean? It's different. You don't know, but I know that whole procedure. It's like, do I really want to go through that and then have to wait 5 days to be able to open my mouth and eat again? And
yeah. Eating apples.
Hope you don't get dry socket. I'll let Hayden go ahead with his question so we can kind of move on with the topic a little bit.
All right, talk about the dentist.
All right, so out of all the roles you've done as your time of a voice actor for the past few years, which one did you say you wish was a little more well-known? Like, you put a lot of effort into it, and it's like, nobody knows about this. I want people to know.
Oh, which one?
Good question.
I wish was more well-known.
You think
I don't know if I have a real concrete answer to that, but I will say, if you go back and play Spider-Man 2, you'll probably hear me sprinkled all through, like me and several other voice actors throughout the city. That was probably the most fun as a voice actor I ever got to do, because I got to go in, and several of us, we got to go in multiple times, and we're just like New Yorkers and like random baddies and, like tough guys and things like that. And sometimes some are like Venom's or like henchmen or whatever. But like, there was this one session where, shush. Hold on. Not the bank. Go away.
Can you take that call?
We're calling about teeth.
Yeah. They're like, yeah, we've been spying a conversation. We can't help but notice you want to renew your dental insurance and get some of the teeth extracted. I'm like, no, I'm good.
See, that right there scared the shit out of me. I'm like, I know they listening to me, bro. It's out there.
Always. Like a week ago, and then I'll go back to Spider-Man 2. I was talking about, I was like, oh man, my neck hurts. And then I open up Instagram, and it's like all these like remedies for like neck, and like do this exercise, and like put that, like I'm like,
man, I had something similar happen with me when I was looking up. Me and my mom were talking about insurance, like life insurance, and then when I left the her house, literally got on my phone, it's just mass life insurance things coming up, and I'm like, oh, hold up, like is this a sign? Like what's going on?
Like, not to get all tinfoil hatty, but like, isn't that grounds for a lawsuit?
Man, you know,
Like,
all they gonna claim it, they ain't doing it.
Isn't that technically spying?
Technically. But they're upset that TikTok uses our information.
There you go.
Man, and then they still can't even explain what they're doing. Like, you know what I mean? Because I've listened to a little bit of the debates. Can we can get a little bit outside topic? But I was listen to one debates, and the senator was like, can someone go on the app and hack into my Wi-Fi? And I'm like, when have anybody ever been able to do some shit like that?
Why?
Like, are you serious? Like,
why do I want to get on your Wi-Fi?
Like that is okay, man. I guess like it's.
So to answer your question, Spider-Man 2.
Okay. I'll go back and play through it again and see which ones I'll notice. Like, hey, I know that guy.
Okay, so do you know? Did you see the clip that was going viral of like someone was playing Spider-Man 2 and like there's two NPCs having this conversation about baby powder? Okay, it's on TikTok. There's like this. It's a whole conversation that two female NPCs are having about baby care. And they're both talking about like, oh, baby powder is really bad. And like, really, why? And like, well, the studies have shown that like it actually causes like a lot of birth defects and da da da. Oh, wow. And it goes on for like 2 minutes. That is GK and Kirta. I'm probably mispronouncing that name. But they riffed that for like 2 minutes, 2 minutes straight.
Also, they just created that whole conversation.
And that whole session, we had many instances like that where the director would just give us a general premise and they just riff, and like we would all kind of like just back and forth. And there's, I'm sure there's some that probably didn't make the cut, but by the end of it, we were in stitches. We were laughing so hard. I've never had that much fun in a voiceover session in my life, and I would do that again in a heartbeat.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad you liked that experience.
Yeah, that's it. Got the name right.
But my next question I want to ask you: what do you find most rewarding and challenging about being a voice actor?
What I find most rewarding is, and I've said this many times, not just on podcasts, but just to like friends and whatnot. I think acting, personally, this is just me speaking for me, I think it's a service job. I think it's our job to be of service to the story and the people we're hiring and what it does for the audience. So
basically your tools, basically.
Yeah, to reflect on themselves and maybe make, better members of society is the goal. But anything that comes beyond that is just a bonus. So I find being of service to the project the most rewarding. And I guess the challenging part is, like,
getting work.
I'm at the age now where like, I don't get jealous, you know what I mean? Because I like whatever's for you will be for you. And then same goes for everybody else. So like, I'm always very happy with my colleagues get their wins and whatnot. I guess the challenging part is trying to help newbies navigate the industry because it can be so daunting and a lot of people don't know where to begin. And some people give really good advice and some people don't. But it's hard to sort of decipher which one's which. And sometimes I don't want to, careful like what I say, because I don't want to step on anyone's toes, even if I don't think they're giving the best advice. But that could be a little challenging, but that's what you have a friend for. You just text them about it.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people interpret advice things differently too. So one thing you might tell to somebody, they might take that and be able to do something with it. But then you tell somebody else the same thing, they're like, I don't have no start. I don't know where to do with this. Like, you haven't given me anything. So it really just depends on who you're giving the advice for and trying to figure out how to tailor that advice to that particular person. I think that's the best way.
Yeah, listen, I'm just one man, so take what I say with a grain of salt.
Man, because what worked for me may not work for you, but you might be able to do something with it. You know what I mean?
And when you are learning to like be in this industry, I tell people all the time, like, don't just take classes from me or just like one studio. When I float around,
For sure. Especially networking is the most important thing.
Yeah, like see who really knows what they're talking about and see who's just, bullshit.
Who class you just paying for? You know what I mean?
Right. So it's like, make sure you're getting your money's worth.
Okay. Go ahead, Hayden. Do next question.
Alrighty. So has there ever been a role that you've been offered and that you declined or just were not able to do because of scheduling that you ended up regretting not being able to go with? Like you thought, I could have done this, but I'm doing this one instead. I'm sorry, I can't do that.
I think it kind of goes back to what I was saying before. I think I've only turned down a role maybe twice, but I didn't regret it. You know what I mean? Wherever it went to, it's like, okay, well, like they were meant to do that. And then they got their moment to shine, or they got a moment to advance their career in a way that they probably needed a lot more than maybe I did at the time. So yeah, maybe only twice, but yeah, I don't regret it.
Okay. That kind of reminds me, because I was doing a lot of research on you, and I seen an interview where it sound I don't know if you were saying it or if they were saying it, that you have a good Darth Vader impression, and that you wanted to actually like play Darth Vader or something like that. So how did that come about and stuff like that?
Okay, so I'm gonna bear with me. I'm gonna tell the very long-winded story. But I'll try to get through it as quickly as I can. So like as I was saying back in college, joined the theater department, auditioning for my first play ever. Don't know anything about plays, don't know anything about the auditioning process. But I'm sitting in the lobby talking to two guys, don't know them, but we're just kind of chit-chatting and whatnot. And, they seem nice and cool. And they ended up becoming friends of mine during my college years. But I don't know to this day how we got on the subject of Disney. But we talked about favorite Disney movies. And I was like, oh, yeah, like, I love, like, Mulan and, like, The Emperor's New Groove and, like, The Lion King is, like, one of my favorite movies. And then I was just like, Luke Simba, everything the light touches is our kingdom. And they were like, wow, that's really good. You should go up there and like do that. I was like, really? And keep in mind, I'm not like a celebrity impressionist. Like that
was good though.
Yeah, that one, like the James Earl Jones, that's probably my ace in the hole, right? I'm like, all right, I'll go up there. I'll give it like a little like, James Earl Jones. And the director loved it. He was like, that's really good. Like, so I got like little like bit part in Galileo as like one of the bishops or priests, which like looking back on it is like LOL, but like that's really what kickstarted of like, oh wow, I didn't even realize, because I had never done that voice out loud until that very moment. So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna put that in my back pocket. And then
got a little party trick.
Forward to like when I was talking about getting back into voice acting, I was taking this class, and one of the weeks we had to do a celebrity impression. Like, how close can you sound to a celebrity? I'm like, I don't really have like a lot of, I was like, but I do have that James Earl Jones. So like, okay, we went home. I got like the Lion King, like all like queued up, and like, cause they had to get the video and like the transcript, and I'm in the class and they're playing it, and like they play the line, and then you have to repeat it afterwards, like, for the class and the microphone. So I like just that. And through the glass, I can hear one of my classmates go, whoa. And I his little head like kind of poke out. I was like, and I knew, and I was like, got it. You know what I mean? I had him. So like, it was, that was just kind of like a real good moment for me. And then fast forward after that, what was it, 2020, 22? I saw the announcement that James Earl Jones was stepping down as Darth Vader. I was like, oh, whoa. And then like he sold his rights to that company, the AI thing. And I said,
you don't want to lose that role.
I was like, I mean, I guess he's obviously free to do whatever he wants to, but I'm like, I just feel like legacy characters should go to somebody else. I mean, multiple people have been Batman, multiple people have done Bugs Bunny, Mickey Mouse. So I'm like, why should this be any different? So I had put on Twitter, like, I think I would make a pretty mean Darth Vader. And it got like a couple of likes. It didn't get anything like crazy. But my teacher, who's a good friend of mine, he messaged me and was like, I know you can do a Darth Vader because we've heard you do the Mufasa. What we should do is you should come to my house, because he has a booth. Well, we should record you doing like 5 or 6 or however many scenes of Darth Vader, and we should post them, and we should do it quickly. Otherwise, no one's going to be talking about this really soon. So like that, I think that Sunday, I went to his place, set on my phone. We recorded myself doing the thing. He spliced it together. It took like 8 hours. By the end of it, my voice was thrashed. It was like, and then Monday came, and I was like, I'm going to post the first one on Monday. And it's the one you see pinned on my Twitter. And I almost backed out at the last minute. And the only reason I backed out was kind of fear. And I was just like, I know how Star Wars fans can be. Like,
I feel that. I feel that.
I don't want to cause no problems. But then
trying to mess with our God.
yeah. And like I'd run it by a couple of friends who like didn't know what I was doing, and I showed them, and they were like, no. You need to post this like immediately. And my buddy Kevin, he was the one who came up with the caption of like at Mark Hamill, do I have what it takes to be your father? That was his idea. I posted it, and then I like walked away, and it was steadily climbing. I was like, oh wow. And then it was like climbing a little bit more. I was like, wow. And then some guy, I don't even know who, he has like 1 million followers, and he had
posted
it. And he was like, whoa, you know what I mean? And then like grrr, and then an hour later, Mark Hamill liked it and commented, and I was like,
oh, what did he say? Could you be it?
It was like an article on Screen Rant. All these Star Wars people started reaching out to me. And I day after day, I just posted one more, and it just kind of took on a life of its own. But kind of like what we're seeing right now in the industry of acting, I saw the writing on the wall back in 2022 when it comes to AI and voices. I was like, oh, if they can replace James Earl Jones, then none of us are safe. So like, I think the best course of action to maybe, petition why a human should be hired rather than a machine is to literally go up against it and let the consumer decide which one is better.
Yeah, because you'll see the difference in emotions and stuff like that you're able to portray humanly than through AI. So
exactly. So it was, two schools of thought when I did it. I mean, I'm I'm gonna be upfront. The first reason was I was trying to get a job, but
I feel it.
Like, I was like, yo, I think this AI thing might be a problem down the road, and here we are.
I'm surprised Earl Jones didn't hit you with a cease and desist. Like, hold up, you ain't trying to take my job. I feel that.
But I mean, he already stepped down at the time, so it's like, and that's the only reason why I never did it in the first place. Because I was like, listen, I'm not trying to step on anyone's toes. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, because I knew I could do it, but I was like, I don't want to put that out there, and then people be like, you tried to take James Earl Jones. I'm like, no, I try to live a low-key life on Twitter.
Not no more.
I can hear a little South Park in there right there. That's what it. For my next question, one of the main reasons I brought you on was basically talk about your experience working on the Bleach anime, the 1,000-year Blood War arc. You got to play a bad guy, which, a lot of people don't usually get to play a bad guy. You know what I mean? So, and when I think about being a voice actor, that's most likely what I want to play. I want to play all bad characters or villainous characters, because I feel like you get more of their storylines within the story. And they're allowed to do a lot more than the hero. The hero is kind of like, in a prison to what he can do. It's some stuff you want to be like, I want to cross the line a little bit, but I can't because of what I'm looked at. But basically, I wanted to ask you, how was it basically playing a character like that? And what were some of your favorite moments? And what did you take away from this?
Oh, man. I mean, getting to play a character like that, I feel like, I don't want to speak too soon, but I feel like it's just a once in a lifetime opportunity to play someone so cold, so powerful, and just could wreck house so quickly. I mean, my inspiration just kind of vocally, because me and my director, Ryan, we were, brand new character, brand new actor. So it's like, what are we thinking? What are we thinking? I was like, well, I mean, he doesn't really have a whole lot of expression. He's got the, coming out with the blicky, no one else got one, So I'm like, I feel like this dude is like just stone cold. I feel like this is the guy who like walks into a saloon and everyone stops talking.
Yeah, I like that. Okay.
Like, I feel like that's what's like kind of the presence he has when he walks in a room. Like, everybody's gonna shut up,
True.
So my I knew and I we're doing the the kind of the scenes in order, but when I'm talking to oh God, I forgot his name. Guy with the sword who I fight, and he's got like the sort of hip hop demeanor. You know what I'm talking about? Season 2, when I first.
Oh, you're talking about Nehemiah? Is it Nehemiah? The one who makes the Zanpakutos?
Yes.
I know you're talking about.
Yeah. One of my favorite moments is he's talking all kinds of stuff to me, and I'm just like you got two things. Number one, I was like, oh, when I heard it back, I was like, yep, that's it. That's the one. That's it. So that's when I knew, like, okay, yeah, I think I figured out this dude. So it was, and once you kind of like got the wheels turning and whatnot, then that's when you can really just feel free to really, really make the character your own. So I found it very, very rewarding, because it's also kind of like my second anime. The first one I did was Tekken, but it was like a kind of a short-lived thing because I was just a referee, and that's not to poo-poo it or anything like that. But like I didn't really get to sink my teeth into just being the
Like
referee.
characters.
This is like, oh, this is like a real character who like really has an objective here. So
Okay.
yeah. So I mean, I loved it, and I understand why everyone wants to be the bad guy. Everyone wants to. The bad guy gets the best lines. They get the good
True.
sound bites, and everyone wants to throw out murderous rage battle cries, which I didn't really get to do as this character until obviously he
Next.
of course he transformed into his owl dragon form.
Yeah, his Wilson dish, I will say, out of everybody's, his is the most interesting because it's like, what did you turn into? Like, you got to be on a whole nother level type of thing because everybody else gets maybe some wings and a little bit of a power upgrade. This man turns into something like because it's like you have to say that's probably some biblical godly type of thing because I nothing else can explain that.
I think according to the internet, so take that for what it is, a lot of people were saying that his angel form is supposed to be what others kind of historically thought angels might look like.
Okay.
Like these like beautiful creatures with these big flowing wings and like whatnot. I think historically they were meant to look like that. So I think that's why he looks the way he does. And, he's like the right hand of God and, kind of a megalomaniac in that regard. But yeah, I think that's why he looks the way he looks, as opposed to like like Gerard with like his
just the wings, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a crazy transformation. But how did you like the fight between you and Captain Kyōraku? Do you have any favorite moments from that or anything?
Oh yeah, I loved it. I love the entire fight. I think the trumpet at the very end.
Oh man.
A spoiler alert if anyone hadn't seen it yet. But yeah, I think the trumpet part was definitely my favorite because that's when you really get to kind of Dragon Ball Z, kind of rip it and let loose, That's fun, But I always keep my I have my little regimen of like, I make piping hot tea, so it's like steaming. So by the time I need to take a break, vocally, I just grab it, I just chug like half of it. So all this is like crispy. I'm like, all right, let's do it again. And I'm good to go,
I feel you on that because I mean that fight has some amazing scenes. You get to see Kyōraku's Bankai for the first time. We would tease this for a while because they teased us in the last arc, but we never got to see it. But
yeah, that's what the feedback that people were really, really happy to finally see it. So
man. And then the fact that you still were able to survive the last attack, but I don't know in what capacity because it seemed like you turned into a different, smaller versions of yourself. So I want to see how they animate that for next season. Is he still actually a part of those things, or are those just randoms?
Because this shit's weak. Look at me. Internet's gonna hate me.
Well, one of the things I will say about that form is I thought it was giving off serif, like a serif type of thing. So I didn't know if that's what the route they were going. So
I don't know. Right. I don't know that, but like I can see that.
All right. Hayden, your next question.
All right, and you probably already answered this because so just be wary. But I saw you did like quite a few games: Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Unicorn Overlord, Lost Eidolons, Guilty Gear. Out of all the games and stuff you've actually done, we'll go specifically games because that's my forte. What would you say you are the most proud to be involved in?
I would say, with respect to
which one you tell your friends, like when they be like, "What you doing?"
Yeah, I think with respect to all the other games I've done, I think the one I'm most proud of is Guilty Gear, just because a lot of my childhood was spent playing Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo, maxing out my dad's credit card at Blockbuster, renting games, playing with my brother. Him and I going back and forth at Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Tekken, Virtua Fighter, Battle Arena Toshinden, Bloody Roar. Oh, y'all think I knew?
Not everybody knows. I have Battle Arena Toshinden back there. It's my favorite fighting game.
Sometimes you get surprised when you realize actors are just people. You know what I mean?
People. We're just people. And furthermore, I have petitioned that we should remake Toshinden and Bloody Roar, but I'll save that for another day because I could go off on that all day. I'm like, listen, just call me. But yeah, like when I got that, it felt like another full circle moment in my life. Cause again, I'm just like reflecting on my childhood of just like when I was playing all those fighting games, I never had any inkling that I would ever be in one day. It probably wouldn't have ever even crossed my mind that that's an actual job that someone can of just like, oh yeah, you could be a voice actor and be the voice of Sub-Zero, or you could be Ken in Street Fighter or anything like that. I won Darkstalkers at a Circuit City fighting game tournament when I was like 12, by the way, completely unrelated to anything you just said. But like that sense memory just dawned in my mind. I was like, oh wait, that's right. And I'd never played that game at the time, but because I was such like a fighting game savant, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna pick someone random and I'm just gonna clean the house. And I beat like all these like grown men. I was like 12. I was like, ha ha ha. So I think like looking back on it, like, yeah, the writing's on the wall that you would always like end up in like video games and whatnot. So like, yeah, Guilty Gear, to be a 6'7" vampire samurai with that sword, that mask. I was like, come on. You know what I mean? Come on. Does it get better than that? I mean, maybe maybe Darth Vader, but
or
like,
Soul Calibur, be able to wield that thing. I'd love to have that. I'll be honest.
That's what I'm surprised Soul Calibur wasn't on your list, because I was like, he almost in all these fighting games.
I'll mess someone up with Maxi if they really want to get, I'm not against it, I'm not against it,
I remember playing Soul Calibur 3 because I remember just starting it up and it'd be Soul Calibur 3. And so I loved Soul Calibur. I don't know if I liked it more than, Mortal Kombat or Tekken.
What was the game? Fighting Viper?
I don't know if
it was like a 3D fighting game. It was like kind of like an arena base. And like as the round would go on, like parts of their clothes, like they had like armor, it would just like break off into pieces. So like by the end, we had like
okay, I have seen this once.
Yeah, you were just pretty much like naked, and then like just like all your clothes fly off and whatnot. And then Primal Rage was another one.
Okay, I played that one.
Yeah. Killer Instinct. Yeah.
Nice little titles under your belt.
I spent many a Saturdays, and this was back when like GamePro and like EGM were like a thing. So I'd have like all the magazines like laid out, and I'd have like everyone's moves like in like a semicircle. So I would just kind of like go one by one and just like look on the floor and just kind of learn. And this was like back in the day. I'm too old now to like memorize all this. But like, yeah, I like got to the point where I could memorize, like, especially in Mortal Kombat 2 and Tekken 3. I pretty much got so good at those games, I memorized everyone's move. So I was pretty, at the time, look at me talking shit now. I go, at the time, I was pretty untouchable.
Hey, we can't confirm or deny, so we'll just say these claims are true.
Yeah. They're bad then, so no one can confirm or deny it, This is the age where we're just going to say anything.
And no fact checking or nothing. You know what I mean?
I'm just going to say whatever. No one can fact check me.
We'll knock it down to our last 4 questions before we end the interview. I know it's been a great conversation, hasn't it?
We talked about the dentist. We talked about Primal Rage. We've talked about everything.
Just wait. I'll get you eventually, and I'll just talk all this.
No, that's same. That's why I'm trying to like focus. So I'm like, I want to know what all those games are.
Oh God. Oh, you got 45 minutes?
Yeah. No. We'll hear all day. We'll save it for another day.
Well, the question I want to ask you, if you could shout out anybody that's helped you basically been a good support system for you, helped you get to where you are, who would you want to shout out? And how important do you think is having a support system?
One person, or
you can shout out as many people as you want. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know if
you got a spouse, you got to say something, because I had one person's spouse hit me up like I don't see why he didn't shout me out. Like I'm like, oh, y'all want me to take it down?
I think I can't really limit it to just one person. Like, I guess first and foremost, like my family has always been a champion of me. Like, especially when I told them I was an actor, like none of them even batted an eye of just like, oh, that's gonna be stupid. Like, you'll never make it. They were all like, yeah, go for it. And then
you got that Lion King, don't you?
We got that. You got the Lion King. I'm dead. And then as I was like, trying to get more classes and whatnot, classes are expensive. And like when I was first starting off, I was very, very, very broke. And at the time, he still is, my boyfriend at the time, surprised me on my birthday. And he bought behind my back the next level of my voiceover class that I was saying, because I couldn't afford it. But he was like, oh, like, don't worry about it. Like, check your email. I was like, what are you talking about? And I opened my email. They were like, it was like order receipt confirmed for like your next class. And he said, I didn't know what studio we're going to, but like you talked about it so much, I like did some like research on my own, and I happened to find it, and I reached out to them, told them who I was, and I told them I wanted to like, support you because I believed in you. So I was just like, so I was like crying over that. And then
Amazing.
just meeting people like throughout this, like one of my good buddies, Ryan Colt Levy, who's Denji in Chainsaw Man. Like he and I have been like, we were kind of rising together at the same time. Like he had booked like Rody Soul and My Hero, and I had just booked like kind of Nagoriyuki. So like we were kind of like intertwining and like rising at the same time. Bill Butts, Yang Ye, Alejandro Reynosa, if you're a Castlevania fan. Paul Castro Jr., who's in Dragon Ball. He's Mini Vegeta, you know what I mean? Like, and I could go on and on, just supporting, just kind of shouting people out. But the reality is I've been very, very fortunate that most of the people who I keep dearly in my life have always championed me. So I'm really, really lucky in that regard. So like when I've been so lucky to receive so much goodness, I don't like to hoard it. I'd rather just pass it to someone else. And then I usually don't want anything in return. I'm like, if you want to pay me back, you could just help someone else and then we'll call it even.
Yep. That's how you basically pass on.
Yeah.
Basically a blessing type thing.
Exactly. Just help somebody else and clean slate.
That's pretty good. He paid for your classes and everything, because that's low key something that kind of pays back itself. Because I mean, if you do become famous and everything, you can't forget about me.
Now I booked as in the Transformer movie, so like now I booked all these conventions, and now like I get to bring him with me, and like we're going to London in August for like Transformer Nation. So like we do London for like a week. So like so like. This one little payment for one of my classes is now a lifetime, guaranteed free trips.
Man, he's like, I only had to spend $500 once, and I ain't spent nothing to then. Like, man,
I ain't got to pull out one tooth.
That's what. Hey, you got any more questions?
Yeah. Next one is, what is your best memory from your time as a voice actor over the years?
Oh, okay. There's two. One was I was talking about the Spider-Man thing. I did one particular session, and then a week later, they had reached out to my agent. They were like, "Does Evan have any motion capture experience?" I was like, "No, at the time I didn't." But they're like, "Okay, well you do now because you did a voice for this one like side mission, and now we need you to actually perform it on our mocap stage with Miles Morales."
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, so the day comes, they sent me the script. I like memorized my lines. I was like, oh my God, I haven't had to memorize lines in forever. I was like, don't mess this up, Evan. So I go down there, everyone's really nice. They take me backstage and they put me in like the ball suit and everything. And then they take me back room and they got to calibrate everything. So you got to do like kind of these like weird movements and whatnot. And then I go out there and they have to calibrate my voice and they have you look at this screen. And they're like, we need you to read this out loud so the microphone can like calibrate, and everyone in the room has to be quiet because like you're the only one who can talk. Excuse me. I'm doing this thing, and I'm reading it in my sort of like reading voice. And they're like, wow. They're like, you sound like a voice actor. I was like, yeah. I'm like, they're getting
just my daytime job.
And like I'm like getting beat up in this alley, and Spider-Man comes in, saves the day. Like you beat all these guys up, and then like when it's over, he and I have an exchange. And as like I'm sitting on the ground, like looking around, like they're all getting set up and whatnot, I'm just like looking around. And I'm like silently like giggling to myself because I'm just like the 7-year-old in me would not believe where we are sitting right now. You know what I mean? I'm like, this is wild. Like I cannot believe I'm sitting here.
I was flipping burgers last year.
Great. Go home, Cloud9, right? Second instance would be when I got to book Transformers. This is my little Stanley with just water. It's just water.
It's amazing because it's a huge cast of like a lot of actors and everything. So I gotta give you your props, man.
Thank you. It was the production hired me just a few times just to be like do scratch audio for them, which is basically just like filler in audio until they get the celebrity to come in, because this is just for like animator purposes. So I was doing the scratch audio for Megatron. I was doing scratch audio for Bumblebee. I did scratch audio for Alpha Trion in that movie. I did the scratch audio for Jazz, Darkwing, like, random characters of like Cybertron and whatnot. And like, they were really nice, and they were all saying like really nice things. And as it's going on, I'm just like, because they brought me back a few times. I was like, in my mind, I'm like, I think they're going to put me in this movie. But I didn't want to get presumptuous because I was like,
you didn't want to think that
maybe they'll just make me like guard number 3 in the back. You know what I mean? Maybe they'll like put me there. And so I was at home doing like a Guilty Gear. I was doing a Guilty Gear signing, and I had my phone on mute. doing a signing on Instagram. I'm done with it. I opened my phone. My agent called me, left a voicemail, said, "Call me when you get this message." Now he don't ever call. So like, okay. So first of all, I'm thinking I'm getting fired. First,
Oh, dang.
I don't know what I did. I'm sure I did something. I'm probably getting fired. So I call him back and he was like, "I need you to sit down." I was like,
Oh, man. You gonna fire me for real on Saturday?
what I do? You know what I mean? I'm a nice guy. I don't mess with nobody. He was like, "They have one more part in Transformers One, and they don't need scratch audio for it. They want to know if you would do them the honor of being Jazz in the movie." I was like, "Well, that's a lot better than getting fired." I'm like, "Oh, what?"
I totally wasn't expecting this.
Like, oh man, that's way better than getting fired. I was like, "Oh, wow." So like now I'm thinking like, wait a minute, that was Scatman Crothers who was Jazz in the 1984 Transformers show. That was Phil Lamar in like 2001 and like Forever Long. And like a bunch, and Darius McCreary from Family Matters was Jazz in the movie. And I'm like,
Oh, for real? I didn't know that.
I'm like, now they want me?
Man.
Okay. I'm like, so I got to go to the red carpet and like at the Paramount lot. I got to watch a movie, and like that was one of those moments in life where I was like, I'm not gonna let this moment pass me by. I'm just gonna enjoy every second of it because in an instant it'll all be gone. So like when the day comes and the movie comes out, Evan, just enjoy it. And I did. So like those are like so far today, two of like the fondest memories in voiceover. And I'm sure there'll be more to come, but as of right now, yeah, joining the Autobots and getting to be in Spider-Man 2 as like a mocap performer was pretty wild.
Very fair. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Okay. But my next question I want to ask, this is the second to last, so we got one more question after this, is basically, how has your anime taste evolved over the years? And what was your first anime you ever watched?
Okay, so if I had to think, I think the first anime I ever watched in life, I think my brother rented, again, from Blockbuster, look at me aging myself. I think he rented Ninja Scroll.
Oh, okay. I like Ninja
Yeah,
Scroll.
back in, this was like, I think he rented, this was like back in like the mid 90s. So that was like the first anime, which like I probably should have been watching that at that young of age, but here we are. I ended up watching it. And just like my mind was blown because I was like, wow, this is like really detailed, but also really, 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 really violent.
True. Different than all your regular cartoons, ain't it?
Yeah. This ain't Rugrats. This ain't Heathcliff. But I guess my anime taste has evolved over the years. So full disclosure, I don't watch like a ton of anime. I try to watch ones that people recommend.
Okay.
I try to watch as many as I can. Like if you say it's really, really good and I think, Evan, you will really, really like this, I'll be like, cool. I will give it 3 episodes. I'll give it 3 episodes. If I find it trash, then I'll be like, hey, don't recommend it ever again. Yeah. Don't recommend that to me ever again. You have terrible taste and go through traffic. You know what I mean? So in that regard, I'm kind of selective with like what I'll throw myself into. Now, regardless of how some people feel about how the show ended, I don't know. I still really liked Attack on Titan. I don't know. You know, I like Chainsaw Man, and not just because my friend's in it, but like I like Chainsaw Man. I fell behind on Jujutsu Kaisen, so I made myself a deal. I would go to the I go to the gym, so I put it on my phone and I get on the stair climber, and I couldn't get off until I finished at least an episode. So I'm like, all right, we're exercising and we're like watching it. So by the end of it, I'm over it. But
you probably be super tired because those stair masters will get you.
I'm trying, and then like I really liked My Hero, but I feel like I fell so far behind. I'm like, I feel like
you got to catch back up, man.
Yeah,
it's really good.
I forgot the last thing I saw, so now I feel like I got to start over and just like do it all over again. But like, I'm up for the challenge because it's only six seasons,
and I think they're like 24 episodes, so they are like paced off. They're not too much, but it's a little bit. If I were you, I would probably jump to the second season. If you, because that's usually where I start if I want to rewatch it. Because I do like the first season. First season is amazing. It's the reason why I watched the show. But I like kind of starting off with the main school exam thing they have in the beginning. So and then going based on from there. So that's just
it was right before the pandemic. I think Funimation had, they sent out like all these like, come see our movie, whatever movie, and it was like the second My Hero movie. So we all went to go see it and whatnot. It was great. I remember distinctly when Deku was going to give Bakugo the All Might power, everyone in the theater collectively gasped. It was just that moment of like, we knew it was about to happen, like, oh. It was a beautiful moment. That was definitely one of my favorite anime moments. That I'm so glad I was here to witness that, because it's good to be in the room when like everyone can collectively share that moment so many times. And
You gotta.
the Dragon Ball Z Broly movie.
Oh yeah. At
Oh,
least you got a good theater feel for that, because every time I go to the theaters to go watch anime movies, I don't ever get a big crowd of people. I think the biggest crowd I ever got is for the Haikyuu movie, and you got a few people got some laughs and some
Yeah.
nice moments and stuff like that. But I've never gotten there where everybody's like, "Oh hell no!" That's the type of moments you want to see. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, well, like these were like screeners, so like it was like
oh okay.
it fight. But yeah. So it was like the theater was like packed of like, all of us anime nerds, and like so yeah. Collectively, everybody was like in it. Everybody was locked in, as the kids say.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But what would you recommend? What would you all recommend that I start watching? I'll
Okay.
I think I lost Hayden.
No, it's mine is always an oddball one. I'll let Raysean go first because he's the anime pro out of the two of us.
It really just depends on like your taste. You know what I mean? I don't know. Have you watched Naruto?
I've seen all of the movies.
Yeah, you probably need to go back and watch Naruto, kind of get a feel of that.
There's like a million episodes, right?
Yeah, but once you get into it, you're gonna like it. You're gonna like it.
All right.
Do you want more new gen anime?
Yeah. Give me something new.
I'd say, what was it? Kaiju
Number 8?
Kaiju number 8. You definitely need to check that out. That was pretty good. I liked that anime. It brought back the feeling that, we as older people, like 28 into our 30s, can actually still be main characters. You know what I mean? We still got dreams. We still want to go out there and do some things. People always assume it's just a little kid that got to want to do something. And after 20, your dream's just dead. You're just sitting there helping everybody else live their dream. So I love...
I need more anime protagonists with like lower back pain and like more.
Man,
I can give you one.
Oh, give me.
It's on Netflix. Sakamoto Days.
Oh yes, you definitely gotta check that out. This is it kind of gives you the same setup of. Have you ever seen John Wick?
Yep.
Where you got an old
man.
an old guy, an old basically assassin that you go out there used to kill everybody. Basically retires and try to live a nice little life with his family and stuff until he kind of gets pushed and has to show what he's about. You know what I mean? Why he was the boogeyman. You know what I mean? Yes. So you get little scenes like that. I've seen a little bit of Sakamoto Days. I need to really just jump into it. Solo leveling. You definitely got to try solo leveling.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've seen a few people announce their roles in that. So I'm like, all right, I'll write that down.
First season was good. I feel like second season is probably gonna low key try to take over. Sort of kind of like Bleach did in the last core of anime that were coming out, where it seemed like it just kept getting 9 ratings. Seemed like Solo Leveling's just been getting 9 ratings on these last few episodes. So I think they pretty much gonna take over. I don't know if you say it's a sword anime, Wistoria Sword. I think Sword of Wistoria. That's pretty good too. You definitely gotta try that out.
Okay. Have you seen the movie? I think it's a movie. Sword of the Stranger.
Yes, I've seen Sword of the Stranger. Yes, that is pretty good. I love that.
That's one of my favorites. Just in terms of like movies, and then
the choreography is really good in that movie.
Woo, man! So many dirt naps. And another movie that I love is Promare.
Okay.
Yeah, Promare. And I know like Gurren Lagann is kind of a derivative, or I guess Promare is kind of a derivative of Gurren Lagann. I think, kind of, sort of, whatever. Just some of my favorites. So yeah, I think that's a little bit of like, and then of course I love One Punch Man. That show.
One Punch Man is amazing. I don't know if you keep up with the manga, but I feel like if they can animate what's in the manga right now, One Punch Man could literally be a top anime because it's
absolutely
so good. It's so good. His fight with Garou is amazing. Like hands down. I'm so mad.
I'm trying to see on my bookshelf. I think I have the first 2 mangas
of One Punch Man.
Yeah. I think I only have the first 2, but yeah, I'm way behind. But yeah, if you say it's that good, I'll buy them.
Okay, I'm low key. If you see that Garou listed somewhere, you might want to try to get it because that's gonna be a nice.
I'll agree with that.
Nice role, man. Okay. I think somebody might be already playing them, but if it's there, I get it. I'm going for
it. Okay. All right, duly noted. Duly noted.
And I'll give you two.
Mhm.
It's one's on Netflix. That is Gundam Iron Blooded Orphans. That's one of my like top 5.
That's
Pretty
on
good.
my. I put it on my list of.
That one, you want to be sad? You want to be sad? Watch that.
Oh no, it's like that.
You'll see.
It is.
But-
It's interesting anime.
Man.
I guess technically one always it's Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. That one's a masterpiece.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Brotherhood. Amazing.
And then my oddball is Dimension W. It came out like 2013, 2014. It's a Christopher Sabat anime where he is like in the future, everything's like based on these. It's the dimensional planes XYZ. The
Yeah.
kind of fourth plane Dimension W that they use as a limitless energy source. Kiyoma Mabuchi, Christopher Sabat, decides, I don't like this. And he lives in the past. And there's just him dealing with the futuristic stuff and other shenanigans that happen. That's like maybe it's either 24 or 12 episodes. I can't remember which. It's not a lot. I love it. I like the art style. I like the characters. There's some really cool moments in there. I just really like it. Loser's one of my favorite anime characters.
And don't we all know someone like that constantly living in the past?
Man, I'll say that's low key me because a lot of times when I see like things people get upgrades and stuff like that, and they're like, "Dang, you still have that Android?" I'm like, man, I'm not switching just because they got a whole new one. I'm not trying to add on any new bills. You know what I mean? This is what I got. It still do what I need to do, and when I need to switch, I'll switch. You see, I'm still using Skype,
Living in the past, as long as they're not bringing up old stuff that they try to use against you.
man. You know what I mean?
Come on, man. I thought we were done with that. Okay. All right. Those are all good suggestions. I've keenly wrote them down. So
Okay,
we will I'll reconvene with y'all, let you know what I think. If they're trash,
you gonna let us know?
you get no Yelp review. I'd be like 1 star for Raysean and 1 star for Hayden.
That's fair.
I would not.
Don't take their recommendation seriously.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, my next question I want to ask: do you got any advice for anybody that wants to get into voice acting?
Oh, man. I mean, I think depending on how many people you follow online, I think you'll hear voice actors say it's great to want to get into the industry. It's just there's a balancing act of wanting to get into voice acting and then making voice acting your entire life and your entire personality. I think that's a very quick recipe to burn yourself out. I think it's a recipe for jealousy to creep in, for insecurity. So in addition to, yes, take classes. I think when people say take classes, they're not just saying that just so like you'll shell out your money. But like if like the on-camera world is like out here, then voice acting is like this. It's real small and everybody knows everybody. So like taking classes is a great way to just meet
People.
right? Like just to straight up meet people that you probably wouldn't meet, just in your day-to-day life. So take classes. And as you're moving along, like make sure that you are making room for your personal life. Have a life. Please have a life. Go, travel the world, go do things, go to the club, go to a museum, go to a restaurant, date somebody, get your heart broken, read a book, read a manga, watch some movies. Make sure you're doing things that you like to do. And this isn't like all consuming. That would
See that?
probably my headline advice for getting into voice acting. The balancing act of pursue it, but make sure you have a life.
Yeah, because just sitting there waiting for emails to come back, did I get the role? Did I not get the role?
Yeah, or did they get
Stressing.
back? What did they think of me? I'm like, yeah, that eats you up.
Yeah, it can mess with your confidence. I can see taking a step back and like, I'm gonna let it play out, see how it goes. Because I get a lot of advice where people be like, well, the best thing is just, send it, forget it, keep going.
I was about to say, I'm sure you guys have interviewed many of voice actors who are probably well successful in their own right. And they probably audition for the same things I get. And guess what? Neither one of us get it. It goes to somebody else. So
For
it's
sure.
best to just send it in. And like, if they want you, let it be a nice surprise. But like, don't sit around waiting for the email to come in or do they like me or not? I'm like, that'll just eat you up.
Okay, I got another little quick question for you
Hit me.
because someone asked me this and I've been thinking about this. When you do those like not interviews, but auditions and stuff like that, or even interviews,
Yeah.
and do you like when they give you the message like we liked it, but we chose not to pick you? Like, do you want that, or would you rather them just not say nothing?
Most auditions I get are vetted through my agent. So like, if I don't get it, then like we just don't hear anything back. So like, I normally don't get things like that. However, if I were to get that, I would hate it. It's like, I'm a big boy. Like if I didn't get it, it's fine. Like life will go on, I'm gonna go get some sushi. I'll have a glass of wine and life will go on. You know what I mean? So like,
I feel
yeah,
that.
I don't need the we like you, but because I think like also if they like you, they'll probably call you back in for another character sometime in the future for either the same project or completely different project. So
Test a character.
your best
See
work.
how you react.
Yeah, just do your best work. Be chill, you know what I mean? Like, don't be team too much, and I think people will like you.
Sure. My opinion on it is like it depends on the position or something like that. Because sometimes you'd be like, "Damn, I wonder if I did get it or not," and you're kind of waiting for a response. But other than that, I probably like I don't want to know. You know what I mean? I don't want to know you chose somebody else. Just all right. After a week, I didn't forgot about it anyway. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. Listen, like again, I'm sure you've interviewed a lot of voice actors, but like there are things that have come in my inbox that I have auditioned for where I'm like, oh, wouldn't that be nice? You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
pretty up there stuff. And guess what? It don't go to me. It goes to somebody else. And like, that's fine. But like, at least I got to like perform
Audition.
for like, a couple of seconds, couple of minutes, whatever, in front of, or, they got to listen to me. So yeah, we all get really, really, really good stuff. But, at the end of the day, they can only pick one person.
Okay. Hayden, you got my last question of the interview?
I do have one. And this is a fun one that I like because I always like hearing this no matter who I ask. If you had the ability, you have unlimited money, any actors you wanted, all rights, whatever, whatever you need. Yeah. What would you make as a passion project? Like I want this to be done. Like you have the Winnie the Pooh horror movies that are making their own Avengers style movie next year. Something like that. It's like, I want all this. I want Hugh Jackman, Florence Pugh. I want James Earl Jones. I want all of them in this.
Oh my goodness. You know what? Since it's been a hot topic of conversation for the last, 3 years, if I had the capital, I would just go ahead and pull the trigger and make a Blade movie.
I feel it. Yeah.
Go ahead and make I don't know what the holdup is. What is the problem? I don't know the problem, but I would make a Blade movie and a Blade anime. A whole Blade series. Yeah. Actually, no, I take that back. I would make a Blade anime.
Yeah, you could do a lot more with a Blade anime.
And top shelf animators. I don't care if it takes 5 years to make.
No, and the crazy thing about that is that would be a nice character to see come back and stuff. I wonder if it's just like they don't know how to pass on the torch or what. Like, what's the big thing? Because they make it seem like what's his name? Like, yeah, I'm not letting y'all bring it back. Like he owned the rights to it. Like, it's just crazy to me.
But I don't understand, even if that was their logic, I don't understand that logic because every Batman movie, there's no passing of the torch. We sit down in the seat and we accept that whoever we see in front of us is Batman. That's it. Same with Superman. You know what I mean? I can't think of any other superheroes where there've been multiple versions. Or the Joker. We all accept that this person is the Joker. So what is the problem? If Mahershala Ali is Blade, as an audience member, I accept that.
And we all know what's his name did amazing in the role, but I don't think he cemented it to the point to us like I only can see him in that role. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I think on DVD, LOL, I think I own every single Blade movie. So Wesley Snipes is the definitive Blade. But at the end of the day, if he's not gonna be Blade, let's not let it go.
You know what I mean?
I think they might be. Have you seen the new Deadpool movie?
I did. And listen, to that regard, if he comes back as Blade, great.
That's what I'm thinking. Is it seems like they're trying to pull in this new face. Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, Hugh Jackman. They're bringing in old Johnny Torch. They're bringing in all these things. So he's not technically done. Isn't there in the limelight if he's supposed to get something? What's the Marvel? What's the Marvel thingy?
I don't know. I don't know if they're doing. I know they just recently said they're not doing the Blade movie that they had planned.
Yeah, that's what I remember. Yeah.
I know a lot of people were upset about that. I know they recently just said that they thinking about recasting Black Panther, which I thought it's interesting. I understand not doing it at the moment because it's Chad Boseman and how he died and everything and stuff like that. And you kind of wanted to see if the girl can kind of take over that mantle and stuff like that. But I do want to see that character represented. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like the Black Panther crowd, they were in a very, very unfortunate position because what would the three of us do if we were the creators of Black Panther and then our star unfortunately passes you know what I mean? What do we do?
See, that's in those moments
pass the man along in a quickly but kind of respectful way. I mean, not kind of, it was respectful, but you know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It just puts everyone in a really weird position.
In moments like that, that's where I'll say AI would be okay. Like, because you'd be like, you could put the mask on a character and have the AI speak for him and basically
I see.
finish off the movie. That to me, that would be a good way to use AI, especially if you get like the permission from the family and stuff like that. But like any like trying to create a whole character from AI, I think that's bullshit. You know, like there's no reason to do that. But for instances like that, I think would have been pretty cool.
Well, like also the way it ended. I mean, not really it's a spoiler because I'm sure everyone saw the movie by now. But like how it ended, it seemed like the torch was going to
Getting past
to the next movie anyway. So
yeah. So like, we never know. It depends
yeah,
if we get a future jump, and now his kid is basically the new Black Panther, or someone
yeah,
else takes
yeah.
over the reign. Because I mean, Michael B. Jordan had it for a little bit. You know, everybody. My brother loved that route because you know a lot of people kind of like the Malcolm X versus the Martin Luther King route. You know what I mean?
So if you could cast a new Black Panther right now, who would you cast? If I had to, I would go with maybe Coleman Domingo.
Man, I don't know if I could because I don't know enough young Black actors,
Yes,
and I feel like I would think of older actors who shouldn't really need to play that role. You know what I mean? They've already then gave us their memorable experiences and stuff like that. So to play Black Panther to me, it's like that's so hard. Like person I do think of because I think you kind of just brought him up. He was in the Star Wars movie, right?
who?
The character, the person you just
Oh,
said,
Coleman
or
Domingo?
yeah.
Was he? Maybe.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. The black guy that played in there, I thought he's pretty good, but see, that's a hard
Oh,
role.
are you talking about John Boyega?
Yes,
Yeah, him.
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I think someone that's like in that Lupita Nyapple, like in that range where they're actually from that area. And like I feel like that would be a good person to play it. I'm not saying Lupita should play it, but
What's her name?
I'm, I probably fucked her whole name up, but Lupita, I can't think of her last name.
Yup.
I know I probably butchered that last name. I'm not even gonna attempt it, but I think a character in that range,
Yeah.
in that area, would be a good person for Black Panther. You know what I mean? Someone actually that represents that area where they're from. Because a lot of times when people talk about Storm and stuff like that, and I think Cynthia Ivo basically said she wanted to. I'm horrible with names. I'm just letting you guys. She said she wanted to play Storm, and I think she would be okay. I think she'd do a pretty good job. I think she'd probably do better than Halle Berry, but that's just here or there. That's just my opinion. But
Fair
I feel like we need an African to play that role because she is an African character.
Is
You know what I mean? So,
character. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
but with that low key ends our interview. But before we ends, I kind of like to throw this segment in. Basically, if you have a question for us or for another voice actor that may come on, the next voice actor that's gonna come on, let me look it up because I feel like I'm gonna mess up the name and I don't want to do that. Okay, see, that's not even the right person. Let me look this up real quick. It's the main voice actor for Digimon that plays the main character. Let me get him really quick. It'll be Joshua Seth.
I was gonna say Josh. Yeah.
We have him on. So if you have a question for Joshua or for Tom Gibbons, because he'll be the one after.
Oh God, we'll see how they answer this one. If the butterfly effect wasn't a thing, you could go back in time and change one historical event. What would you do?
Okay, that's an interesting question.
You know, let's just pretend.
Yeah.
Let's just pretend for now the butterfly effect isn't a thing. If you could go back in time, you can change something about your own life or historical event. What would you do?
That's an interesting question.
Yeah, something to ponder on. I could have said favorite color.
Favorite season.
I want to give you something to think about, you know?
You think like, damn, do I want to do something that's gonna help the greater mankind, or am I just gonna help myself? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Oh man, this is if you're a good or bad person. You don't want.
Exactly. Now,
I got a bad answer for you. I hate to tell you.
the people they are.
Honestly, I don't know. I had to think about that one for a second. But I mean, if I could change anything, maybe go back, give me some
Invest in Bitcoin.
could do that. Or I mean, I want to think like if I could go back and take some of these anime ideas we have down, go back in time and try to shoot them out. But I don't feel like people would be like, we don't even got the technology to make that. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, oh man.
Suggest Demon Slayer animation 20 years ago.
It's like,
Do it.
what are you talking about? Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, oh man.
What would you do?
Yeah, go back and fix some of my past mistakes. Something about 2 years ago.
Okay.
I might not go to college and wait later to do it because I feel like the time period that I went, I wasn't there for the right reasons. You know what I mean? So go back later and kind of actually try to get my degree and not try to party and all that type of stuff. So that would probably be if on a personal route. On like a huge route, like man, it's just so many things you could tap into and just see how that would affect the world. Like, like what if you could before the guy shoots Martin Luther King, you could be like, hey, you right here, and some shit like you know what I mean? Like that could how would that
You see, that's kind of some stuff I'm on. Like, here's what I'm gonna do. Like, we're gonna lose the chat after this. I'm sneaking into under the veil of night, right? I'm sneaking into like the gun world, right? I'm cleaning them out, right? Grabbing rifles, AK-47s, you know, AR-15s, all the ammo, jumping through the time machine. I'm gonna land on a plantation, find all the slaves, and just drop it off and be like, you're welcome. And then we're gonna be like, who are you? I'm like, don't worry about it. And I just like jump back to the portal.
And you come back, everything just flipped around. You be like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Also, here's some instruction manuals. This is how to work all that. This is all new. This is all new. But I promise you, this will tip the scale a little bit. It'll tip the scale, you know? Dare I say it'll end the war.
It's not Donald Trump, it's the real Trump or something. It'd be hilarious. We could change the whole world out there. That would be amazing. I would just like to see how certain things would affect the world and stuff like that. Like maybe like what if Trump didn't become president and what if Hillary became president? How would that affect? I would like to kind of see how a female would run things. You know what I mean? You have your idea and things and stuff like that, but I just feel like I don't want to get political, but for that situation, she just had the worst opponent she could ever have, man. That literally just changed the shape of the whole political world, man.
Or like go back in time and see like when they established Area 51, like just sneak in real quick, you know, as the doors closing, just run in, just kind of little peek, a little quick, you know, and then just jump back out.
Make the Area 51 raid happen.
Yeah, exactly. And then you got.
I knew they were aliens.
Yeah, you know? Exactly.
The Dragon Balls are in there. Get them.
That changed the world, man. I wouldn't even know what to do.
Ron chained up, you know, you're like, I knew it.
The Omnitrix, the Infinity Gauntlet, all of this.
Oh man,
it's all real.
The Death Note, give it to me.
Man, I don't even know. Like, if they had like a notebook inside a glass thing, and it was like, yeah, that's the Death Notebook, man. I don't even know if I believe that, man. I'd be like, y'all gonna have to show us.
Let me try it. Let me test it out.
Yeah. Break glass in case of emergency. I'm like, nah, we gotta break this thing. We gotta see if it's real.
Break I mean, we gotta curiosity.
Exactly. Like, I think y'all lying to me. So we about to find out if the Death Note is real.
Man, that'll be interesting.
Man.
But with that, we end today's episode. I want to thank you for coming on and talking and chatting it up with us and explaining the voice actor industry. I feel like we learned a whole lot about it, and hopefully you listeners did too.
We learned
we learned about a whole lot of stuff. This has probably been one of my funnest conversations, just talking about so many different things. Before we close out, I just want to allow my guest the opportunity to basically plug himself, tell everybody where they can find you, and all basically your social media stuff.
Listen, we're Evan Michael Lee everywhere we go. Instagram, Twitter or X or whatever. TikTok, it's back. All
true.
Yeah, Evan Michael Lee. It's everywhere. You know, it's like a Tribe Called Quest. You got to say the whole thing. I got some conventions coming up. We got TFCon coming up in March 7th in Burbank, California. I will be at Saline, Arkansas in June for a convention. I think that more details come to that. Obviously, I'll be in TF Nation in August if you live in England. Robo Toy Fest is now being moved to Burbank as opposed to Pasadena. Because of the circumstances, obviously, with the fires.
Yeah.
That will be in June as well. and hopefully more to come in the future. Stay tuned.
For sure. We need you to get over here to Cincinnati, so
Yeah.
meet in person.
Oh wait, how far is Cincinnati from Cedar Point?
It's not that bad. Cedar Point is I think that's closer to the Toledo area. So I'll say probably about 3 to 4 hours, maybe.
Because we love roller coasters. So like, if I'm coming to Ohio, like I'm staying to go on some roller coasters.
Yeah, we might have to plan an event. I'll definitely come with you and see some of that.
Okay.
No, Oklahoma. There's nothing here, but just come on down.
No, that's a lie. Y'all got barbecue. Y'all got some barbecue.
Let me rephrase. Where I live, there's an hour and a half that way. That's the coolest thing we got.
You talking about the nice parts of Oklahoma.
I live in the middle of nowhere. There's dirt, and more dirt.
Oh, well,
I live in the old part of Oklahoma.
I mean, my house is 120 years old, so I do live
in Oklahoma. So just say the word and I'm there.
All right, Oklahoma.
And with that, we end today's episode. I just want to say,